and you may take your place and do your thing if you don't mind.
Oh, go up there?
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to kick it off with the announcements. Please give him a round of applause as he comes up here, daring your attention to wander with one iota, one jot, one spot, one bit, one note.
No, Richard Sanderell tonight.
We don't know about that. We will find out.
I know.
Okay, I know.
Oh, who is that?
Wait a
guy
minute.
up there?
Is it plugged in? Oh, you're just not close. All right. Yeah, get close to the mic because otherwise.
How's this?
There we go. Now we're talking. Or you are talking. Oh yeah, hold on.
Just a touch on here. Just a touch. Try that. That's good. That's good.
All right.
Because I'm deaf and now I can hear myself.
There you go. Oh, we're just doing this side. Just to.
Sacred's Checklist. Welcome to Sacred Grounds with Dan Brady as the current host of this, the longest running open mic in the known and unknown universe. Serving up good food and fine poetry since 1972, way back. Tonight's co-pilot is not here, so I am filling in.
He fills in.
Let's have a big hand for Teddy and Fiona.
Back there.
Where is that Fiona? I haven't seen her in months. Our hosts, and please support this reading by enjoying the food and drinks served here, and also paying for it.
Yes.
Poetry of all kinds, ladies and gents, is welcome here. We respect the mic. That means keeping conversations to a minimum and to a slight whisper. Slight whisper. Putting phones on mute, vibrate or airline mode, not disturbing the poet while they're speaking, walking in front of them, say, and keeping to the time limit, usually only 5 minutes, but that can change.
It can.
If you want to know what is going on here, get on the emailing list or join the Facebook group. Please note our streaming link. It's handy in 5 ways.
Awesome.
Why, you can view conveniently enough from home. Family or friends can see you live. Or later on, want to hear so-and-so's poem again? Oh, that's
not so-and-so's again.
I really love so-and-so's.
You do? I hate that guy.
You can. Do a self-critique. No problemo, mi amigo. Oh, God, I stink. And it is a way to put out the word yours, mine, hours and minutes and seconds. It's a way to put out the word. And that brings us to the ongoing theme. Never doubt that a small group of committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has, Margaret Mead. The evening's theme is...
The evening's theme from Wendy of last week is shelter.
Gimme.
Gimme.
Shelter. Gimme. We're pleased to say our feature is...
Kathleen Winter was in the house. Where are you?
Kathleen Winter!
Queen's Wave lady.
We get Queen's Wave tonight. The keynote is...
The keynote is Melissa Mello, who is also in the house.
Well, our mini feature...
We have 2, I think, count them, 2. We have David E., him, and David Beckman. Where's David?
There he is.
There he is. So we have 2 minis this evening, 2. Count them, 2.
And the last word is...
The last word is Rob!
Who?
Rob.
Rob.
He kicks off the second half and ends the second half.
Someone remind Dan to make a feature clip.
Yes, remind me.
Make a feature clip.
You know, I used to do that with my mom. She'd remind me to do something. I want to go, Mom, do this. And she goes, later on, remind me. So I'm going to forget.
And now, for our fabulous door prizes...
Howl! If you like Howl, another poem by Allen Ginsberg's introduction by William Carlos Williams. Believe it or not, I have how many copies of this? I've liked it and I kept on buying. I don't know. Great English and American poems. The Pocket Book of Verse. Now the name on here is Paul O. Williams. I don't know how the person who passed away and gave me all these books has this, but I knew Paul O. Williams as a wonderful haiku poet, and this must have been his book at some time, and somehow it got passed around, so she had it, but great poems there. Bigger Than They Appear, anthology of very short poems. See, now the thing is, I got this, it gave it to me, and I thought it would be a great resource for prompts. And then I realized I have so many things like that. So I'm going to give this away. In that same category, Poem Crazy. It is a set of prompts that were designed as a book, and there's a lot of really good things in here. And I used this several times, but I'm giving it away. Contemporary Haydn, Jim Cassian, Bruce Ross, Ken Jones. It's a very, very good collection. Very, very good collection. And this is, many people may not remember Jacques Porn, but he's on here. This is the only CD he ever produced. Really good stuff. And this, in case your wondering eyes should appear, is a blank book. Well bound, red.
A urinal.
A urinal. And then there are
Back there. It's empty.
the non-material prizes, which are the keynote, which Melissa will be doing, the co-pilot, which is right there, the last word, which Rob is, he opens the second half, closes the second half, choosing the theme or prompt, which this week is Wendy gave us shelter, and then the mini feature, of which we have 2, like I mentioned before. So there we go.
Oh, if you wish to record someone, ask permission. We will assume you've done so, should any of us notice recordings being made.
Yeah.
Okay. Other side?
Yes. No. That's
No proposition 1?
no, because I'm working on proposition 2. But anyway, give them a round. And we are rolling along, as we like to say. So will our keynote, Melissa Mella, kindly come forward and deliver her speechifying and so forth and so on. And we'll focus her in. Hello.
This is an essay on a blog. Their name is Alok Vaid Manan, and they're a gender nonconforming poet and artist. And it's called Ending the Gender Binary Helps Everyone. When I say I want to end the gender binary, I am not saying that I want everyone in the world to be non-binary, nor that being a woman or a man is a problem. What I want is for man and woman to be understood as only 2 of millions of potential ways of being. I want all gendered and agendered ways of being to have access to the same legitimacy, safety, compassion, and beauty. I want the category woman to exist without an oppositional relationship to that of man, and vice versa. I want man to not be regarded as mutually exclusive with woman. I want woman and man to contain multitudes and not be homogenized and flattened. Identifying as a man or a woman isn't about reinforcing the gender binary. The way that we perpetuate the gender binary is more about the systems of value we uphold and how we treat each other than the particular words that we affix to our experiences. This is why I believe that all of us, regardless of how we identify and navigate the world, have a stake in ending the gender binary. It's a system of power that values its reproduction over our realities, its supremacy over our stories, its universality over our uniqueness. I want a world where gender is respected as a story, not just a word. One where we understand that it means a fundamentally different thing for one person to be a woman than another, where we recognize that there is no one way to be a man. When non-binary and gender non-conforming people challenge the gender binary, it is not because we want to police or restrict others. Rather, it is because we want to create a world that values difference, complexity, and infinite transformation.
This is the attribution sheet. So if you do read something by someone else, I hand it to you, and then you may help me remember who is really supposed to be who and what. And now, sorry, it's all right.
Tempest Paulding.
Paulding?
What's your last name? Paulding, I got it right.
Give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
That's pretty good, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
All right.
Is this okay?
That's great.
Just be really close to the mic, because that way we hear you. We want to hear every word.
So I haven't really been writing a lot of stuff because college is not fun. So like, it might not be as good as like the last stuff that I read, but you know,
No.
whatever. So this is called Feed the Monster. It has a big appetite. Typically it needs more than just your existence, your entire being. It needs to feed on you until you finally succumb and decide to breathe no more. It's up to you to quench it. Small snacks to tide it over until the sun falls and rises in the sky. It craves on prosperity. Sometimes I feed it my own appetite. Other times it craves my motivation. It relishes on my stability the most. Many will ask why we feed it instead of taking matters into our own hands. The longer it goes, the hungrier it grows. One day it'll swallow you whole. This is called poppy. A poppy is a type of plant that closes its petals at night and then opens in the morning. Some species of plants close their petals at night. As the sun greets the sky and begins to warm the world, each petal begins to slowly uncurl itself, as if to welcome the warmth of a brilliant companion. It isn't exactly known why our self-sufficient friends tuck themselves in for the night. One theory says they're trying to conserve energy. Another says they want to protect their pollen from not so pollinating others. I wish I could learn to be like these flowers, able to open my soul for others to come inside, able to shut the gate when too much of me is being used up. It's been quite a while. My leaves are beginning to brown and I can't even stand up straight. The sun asks why I can't rest for a while. Close up shop until I'm strong enough to try again. My answer? I will remain open for seconds, upon minutes, upon hours, upon days, hoping he'll show up, hoping that he stays. And then this last one is called Skin. Every person on this earth has got a certain fear. Spiders incite panic, public speaking invokes tears. Mine isn't too uncommon, but only some women can relate. It's a special kind of fear to a special kind of hate. It wasn't whispered in my ear, it's just something that I know. It's been ingrained since my beginning, a part of how society flows. You see, I'm afraid of a guy, or rather, his rejection. Afraid I'm not enough because I'm darker in complexion. Did you know his hands are white? And that's why around him my skin burns. Instead of reciting numbers and letters, what if it's racism that he learned? I was taught to admire passions, looks, and intellectual minds. If only the darker woman love could prove to be more kind. I'm 18 and you're 18, but it feels like 63. Hiding feelings from a whitey because niggers defined as me.
Jane. One reason why flowers may close their petals is it is temperature sensitive.
Okay.
Especially if you're in an area that's temperate.
I may have
like
made a
we are.
mistake. Was this your first time here?
No.
Okay.
Third time.
Okay, good, because I thought I'd goof that up and I, wanted to give you a proper, introduction. And now, around for her, please.
I haven't read anything yet.
I know, but I was busy blabbercating in the midst of your...
I just have to say, I'm so glad Sacred Grounds is here. It's just, those blooming orchids. The orchids bloom in the house, delicate pinkish lavender. They last for weeks, then wilt. In their wild state, they bloom from the trees. In our wild state, we lived in tree houses and looked at the orchids and only came down to look for food. We had parrots for pets and we were mostly vegetarian. Then we were orchids. Now we are simply late bloomers. And this is for one of my brothers. Traveling back in time. The map of our relationship is up on the wall. You are always to one side and I to the other. Roads and playgrounds and open space, free and windy, overgrown with dry grass, fennel, and remains of houses. I call you from an empty lot, and we're both 7 years old, out of doors, discovering old cars abandoned in the woods, and wild raspberries. I almost knew at the time it was a wonderful thing to remember. Thank you.
James Adams, thank you.
Brett,
And Britt Peters coming up now. Give him a round, please. There we go. Just be really close to the mic.
Okay. I've got a couple of short poems and a couple of poems about childhood. Late night glance. Stars, glowing rocks. The twins laugh as an aeroplane moves through them. Tame, passing light. 8/4/17. This morning, tan, clear of the fog. The entire bay a quiet pond. Milstein plays Bach. Cable telling Trump's America. We read Billy the Kid the other day, a poem by Jack Spicer. Jack's movie. Words pass through the car wash, emerge pristine without context. Billy stands alone in the high desert, his tilting penis, his shining gun, one sagebrush, a Spanish guitar, noisy saloons, brass spittoons, the papier-mâché backdrop quivers in Jack Spicer's Real West. And this is from childhood. Halloween. Once the people who owned the orchard, who had chased us, yelled at us, dangerous kids, threw a Halloween party. Dogs kept in, no border guards. The interior of the packing shed, brightly lit orange streamers, carved pumpkins to match my Basque rodeo shirt and tall Stetson hat. Black mask and cardboard bats. Is that you, Tootie? More than one princess there. Bobbing apples, theirs given away. And my penciled in Zorro mustache. The same packing shed. The packing shed. Did the packing shed burn down? The flame is memory in Tarkovsky's mirror. A shed burns down at the edge of a meadow at dusk. The mother and her children came out to look. Which of her two boys am I? The packing shed did burn down, and neighbors were there to watch black timber falling into the orange flame.
Buford. And then after Buford, we have Owen, Kieran. Is that right? K-I-E-R, Kieran. And then Kieran, then Bray, then Rob, then Tommy, then me, just so you know.
No, take me off there, because I'm in the second.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry
Yes,
about that.
you are so correct. I sit corrected.
All right.
There we go.
My life and some of the circumstances. My life. Getting older, living easier than when I was a kid in sweltering Alabama. Rednecks everywhere. Even in my house. My brother dead at 34. Suicide. I moved to Atlanta, then to San Francisco, then to LA with my spouse and stepkid. Now divorced in San Francisco, looking for you again. All right. Young. I once was young. I made a lot of mistakes, but no longer a kid. I'm, of course, still making them. At 60-something, I know more, but I'll never know everything. Young people at least sometimes think they know everything. I work at a high school, I'm sure. I know. Or at least a lot. With extra energy, maybe sexual and otherwise, they may be right. The thing is, I want everybody, all of us, especially those, this is my prejudice, especially those of us on the left, to have our say. Individual opinion is important. And here's another political one. Everything's politics. London Breed should be elected mayor. I like people of color in large city positions, and the rest of the candidates who have a, quote, chance, unquote, of winning only one, Jane Kim, is a minority. The rest are white. Boom. Got to me, didn't it? Not that I haven't liked non-minority candidates. The late George Moscone comes to mind. I just think Breed is the best fit for San Francisco. Only one, Richie Greenberg, is a Republican. Hey, it's San Francisco, the liberal city. Being a liberal who's been criticized by radicals, I've known for not being far enough to the left. I've tried hard not to be defensive. Politics are strange bedfellows with love for my fellow humans. I'm a peacenik more than anything else.
Owen's uncle. Owen, you're up.
I come in and have a seat, and if you want to read, we can work that out. If you're just here to eat, that's fine too. Whatever you like. And then Kieran, is it Ray? Bree? I'm not. I hate it when I say something wrong.
You're learning.
I know.
Yeah, try and speak up to so that everybody can hear me.
You're doing great.
Okay, good. Sonnet 2. Her native ensconces follow forth a birthright from the sun's right maw, of black crows that circle the raw, never-ending engines. That north of languid Santa Barbara, worth praise to our lonely blimp. We saw from our distant space the law of triads, notes, harmonies, earth of wonder from our mouths open to consume. Coats full of comfort, half along alarm clocks akimbo. Notes happen. Please love once our day. Fish the sea. Wind the hour. Fair day. Bright as beige, yes, beige in front of your eyes should have been. USMCR. Salty skies, aurora dawn. Cold Camp Pendleton morning. 2. Under a tarp, a mirage appears like a yew tree. 3. Fire mission. Night beauty, illumination round. Bright as day. Runaway. Flying winglets. Oh, I was so crowded like a sardine on this bus. This tin can charging down Haight Street, I cannot breathe. Blue. Mystic opus now defined awry as tempest fugit. We now prattle as sabers strut. Glee prances now along the shore of love. My prayers now in the shorebirds, the sky pure from the sun and the sea, full of fishes and clouds. Skip, love generously in our bare genitals. Sane enough, sigh on our knees to the sea and Neptune. Blow your giddy horn to darken the sky along to thunder and beauty. Storm clouds, slow the day to passion and depth. Belong now, thy sea god merman. Swim to brain and darkness, pray to whim. Icy Grail. You lack integrity. He passed like a woolly mammoth to the surfs aloft on the right of his last night, exploding all over a tea-stuck Ingleside. Living End. Up in El Vego on La Cañada Boulevard, branches are full of flowers left after a rain. Not light, but a hard, sleepy downpour. Her eyes are like flowers. They are deceived. They will open again. When summer is full, dear dancers leap upon absurd rain clouds. Sheer night. Horses around the sensual abyss I pray to, being all I get. Hair of the tortured dancing heiress there lying around a beribboned hour-sung carcass. Boomerang the nobility of childless praise to the hour of stillness. Here, albeit the right song of death. There we still think to guileless easelment. Value of blushing. Score around the edge of raw nonsense of cool kindness. More than I, your desperate man, saw the boards that fit the names inscribed before my sensual games of birds and love's whim.
Thank you, Mr. Owen.
Thank you very much.
Darren.
Is this your first time here?
This is my first
Well,
time
he
here.
doesn't know about it. Just show people.
Hey, I'm Kieran. My mom told me to come here.
Do what your mom says sometimes.
She's there with the camera. Tell her to put it down.
Just look close to the mic because you want to be carrying.
Yeah. So anyway, she said, there's the open mic at this cafe, and you should go. I said, okay. So I went online and I called y'all up, and somebody answered the phone. I said, hey, I hear there's this open mic. What kind of material is accepted there? Is it like a music thing, poetry? They're like, a little bit of everything. So I brought my guitar and expected anybody else to be doing that.
Well, just for future, if you come, you have 5 minutes. You can do it. You can sing a song or whatever you want to do. Just you have your 5 minutes, so you can do that. You can do comedy, read part,
Or you can dance. We've had dancers too.
This is the end of my comedy bit. So let's play y'all a song.
That was funny.
I don't have I'm gonna put this down.
Do you want to? Okay, you're.
I don't have a strap.
Okay.
Oh well, we can
adjust the
lower
mic.
it down, and we'll just make.
Do you
sure
want the mic on your voice or your guitar?
And I will bring him into the fold, as it were.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay. No, this is, we are professionals. Ah! Well, okay. Never mind that part then. Maybe make it go. Yeah, get centered. That's as good as it gets.
foggy afternoons made me feel the blues. Downtown is a bar. Downtown is a bar. Long nights, pedals and slides. Substance complements the mind. Talk if you're in the mood to listen only. I'll be shifting all around till the nighttime takes me down. Cause I've been on the line, I've been looking all around to see what I can find. I don't really know where I've been on the line. Times it's hard for me to see, but that's for me to find. Just pay me no mind, pay me no mind. You pay me no mind. You pay me no mind, you pay me no mind. A better grasp of time is what I'm trying to find. So pay me no mind, just pay me no mind. Stuck in the ground. Go forth no more, I'm waiting around. Go forth, you're stuck in the ground. Go forth no more, waiting around. Cause I've been on the line, I've been looking all around to see what I could find. And I don't really know where I've been doing time. At times it's hard for me to see, but that's for me to find. Just pay me no mind. I've been on the line, I've been looking all around to see what I can find. And I don't really know where I've been doing time. At times it's hard for me to see, but that's for me to find. You just pay me no mind, pay me no mind. You pay me no mind. You pay me no mind, you pay me no mind. Better grasp of time is what I'm trying to find. You pay me no mind, you pay me no mind.
About a minute.
1 minute?
Yeah, well, it's less than 2. This goes every minute, so.
Am I more than you bargained for yet? I've been dying to tell you anything you want to hear, cause that's just who I am this week.
We're one of the very few musicians who have those. You can put those little ones in there, and just I love it. Thank you. Who is next?
Bree Brown.
Bree Brown.
So, I am not Bree. She asked me to sign her up because she's going to be a little bit late, but this is more than a little.
Okay, so then who are you then? So,
I could take her place if you want.
well,
or I
yeah,
could
that's
sign
fine.
up later.
Well, why don't we have you now, and then we'll put
She
your
can sign up when she comes in.
yeah, and then but we have to put your name here.
Okay. I'm Judith.
Judith. Okay, Judith. Okay, and then I'm going to put a star here by this person so we know that we will not forget this individual, and when they show up, we'll point her out, and then we'll take care of business from there. We don't want to miss people, especially when it comes to dinner. All right. Oh, we should raise that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, sorry. Okay, is that good? You just got to get really close because
Yeah,
otherwise.
yeah. That's good. That's good. Yeah. And this is my first time. I put together a little group of poems that I think of as sunrise songs. Some of them are quite short, and I try to keep those. First one's morning after rain. Sun warmth, earth scent, tremble of leaf and wing, vines twittering with blossom and song. Alive, alive, alive. And from a day with a different kind of weather, there's a little haiku. Familiar silver everywhere this morning. Earth melts into sky. Familiar silver everywhere this morning. Earth melts into sky. This one's called Dawn. Every morning it happens again. The sky lightens into immensity, a vastness that shows us minuscule, inspired to stretch and stretch beyond ourselves. As sky lightens into immensity, the seas hush and roar, and ceaseless pouring inspires our endless stretch beyond ourselves, our bodies tiny, our spirits boundless. The seas hush and roar, and ceaseless pouring, and an expanse is stirring as the night sky. Our bodies tiny, our spirits boundless, we watch the dark dome brighten into day. An expanse so stirring as the night sky, a vastness that shows us minuscule. We watch the dark dome brighten into day. Every morning it happens again. This one's called Time Warp. Gray spires rise against a pink sky. In the city streets below the hill, morning traffic rumbles. Lights flash. A man rises from the sidewalk, dresses himself for the day. This one's Lament. Dawn light falling across hillside houses gilds them like Jerusalem. Oh, cities of desperate hope, to what great causes have you been dedicated? How pretty the names we give you. Our aspirations, peace, freedom, brotherly love, angelic protection. As though our incantations could make it so. Our hearts elegiac when we see the dark rising. Clan hatreds reviving, no heavenly intervention, no cease to suffering, continued conniving. We dress our dreams yet in hope's diadem, though all our cities are Jerusalem. And a final fragment. Each new morning, as fresh as childhood, my old age.
Tommy! May I have a call to make it? I just wanted to say, like, a lot of times when I read and write haiku, and one of my favorite things to do is read it a second time, because usually it's so short that people go would, and so reading the second time like you did, that's very helpful. Just so.
Very professional.
Yes.
In hindsight, it probably wasn't the brightest idea. Standing out there in drag. I was impersonating Bette Midler for a show that was happening in a cafe in the basement of that old, otherwise abandoned building in a part of town that most people wouldn't be caught dead or alive in, especially at night. The plan was that when I heard the harlot start singing, "You're out of the woods, you're out of the dark, you're out of the night," I'd come thumping down the dusty old wooden steps in my platform shoes that were nearly impossible to walk in, wearing a silver spaghetti strap mini dress that barely hung below my crotch, silver and black fishnet stockings, and a huge red feather boa that kept getting in my nose and making me feel like I had to sneeze. Imagine what that cop must have thought as he cruised by in his patrol car. I didn't notice him until he pulled over to the sidewalk and motioned to me. I panicked, but pulled myself together real quickly. Drag was a crime back then. I could end up in jail for being out in public dressed like that. My survival instincts kicked in big time. It wasn't my first encounter with Philly's finest. I reacted in character. Oh, hi, officer, how you doing? I know this looks strange, but I'm Bette Midler from New York. I'm a cabaret singer. Maybe you heard of me? I'm going to be performing at this here cafe. Yeah, I know it's the piss, but a girl's got to do what she's got to do. I'm just standing out here because I'm supposed to do an entrance when I hear the music cue. It's a surprise. The audience don't know I'm here. I'm just going to have a good time with my backup girls. The Harlettes, they're a wild bunch, but talented. You wouldn't believe the lungs on those girls. You want to come in here and hear me sing? I got a nice voice. I can really belt one out. You think Ethel Merman's something special? You ain't heard nothing yet. You like my outfit, huh? What do you think? It's brand new. Didn't cost much. Bet you couldn't tell, huh? Looks real expensive and classy, but I gotta tell you, these shoes are killing my poor feet. I finally took a breath. He seemed confused when I first started talking, as if he couldn't figure out whether I was a boy or girl, imagine. Then at some point in that seemingly endless monologue, I could see that he just wanted to get the hell out of there. Having no doubt decided that I was a lunatic, a harmless one, but still out of my head big time. As he drove off, I heard my cue and started down the steps. After the routine I just pulled off, the show was going to be a piece of cake. I dedicate that to Melissa for doing that amazing piece at the beginning. And this is my final piece, a little more somber, unfortunately. When I'm with a gay man my age, there's something we can't escape, something that can't be erased or covered up or explained. It's not an elephant. It's a shared nightmare we lived through in the 80s. I see it in the pain behind his eyes, the slouch in his shoulders, as if he's weighed down, like I'm weighed down. Hear it in the barely discernible crack in his voice most people would never notice. No matter how many years pass, how many times we think we put it behind us, there's no putting it behind us. Like when faces pop into my mind. I'm walking down the street or sitting in a crowded room, and something, a smell, a face, a gesture, a way of talking or walking, a smile, reminds me of someone I knew. How many times have I suddenly thought of Sag in that bar in Philly, showing me the purple Kaposi sarcoma Rorschach blotches on his arm? Tears are rolling down my eyes. I can't talk. He's saying, you're going to make it. You're going to tell the story of who we were and what we did. I'm shaking my head. I'm convinced I'm going to be dead before the decade is over. His words still ring in my ears, still haunt me in my dreams, remind me that I can never let the world forget a president who wouldn't mention the disease that killed Sag and so many, many other friends. Reagan made a joke of it, as his press secretary did over and over again. There were the churches that thought it was a punishment from their never merciful or forgiving deity, and families who wouldn't bury their sons because of who they were and how they died. When the AIDS quilt came to town and I was asked to read names, I got through the first few and cried so hard my friend rushed to the stage to take me away from the mic. I sobbed into her shoulders as she held on to me for the longest time. I knew they had every intention of letting us die. That was the worst part, the realization that had we not raised the loudest voice we could muster, they would have let us all die. I don't know why I'm still here. Maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know how to do what Sag asked. I don't know how to do anything but keep on surviving, and when I'm in a room with another gay man my age, wait for that moment when one of us breaks the silence and the memories we don't share often pour out. Those who remember the past are condemned to live with it forever. Thank you.
like I like to say, what a night, what a night. And now you have me. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So, I read this recently, but then I changed it up a teeny tiny bit. So, you probably won't notice. That's all right. Where is your heart? Right here, right now. This very moment. You know what I mean? Not just the percussive muscular motions marking your moment-to-moment measures, but that singular part that knows every little thing. Yeah, that unending part, and how it takes you, and where it takes you to, and why you go along with that intimate, emotive feeling of, that's the ticket. Where is your heart when you dearly miss its peace? When you cannot take its pain any longer, and you ask it to please, please just stop the ache that comes steadily on with each regrettable beat, each memory that comes or goes with each and every breath, each hope or wish follows on. Yes, where is your heart tonight? What is it about? What are its intentions? How does it figure in your life? What plans do you have for it? How do you hold it dear? How do you protect it? And what does it want from you? What is it always asking? So, where is your heart tonight? Ladies and gentlemen, where would you have it be? What does it wish? And why? Why do you ever let it play second fiddle to anything else? Thank you. And now, this one follows on with that. I like the way that followed what you did, that heart thing. It was just like, thank you. It's like, what a segue. I should have said that first. But anyway, here we go. Sometimes when I watch a movie, poems come out of it because of scenes and what people say, and this is all mixed out of a movie somehow. Somewhere beyond the sea. Oh, say, let us go to a beautiful place. Somewhere away, far, far away. Beyond the sea, and what's beyond there? To a lovely shoreline where a broad and meandering strand is windswept and rippled clean. And the breeze snaps and the air is bracing, where ranks of smooth waves roll forward, curling in, before the sublime water sweeps in, away everything with reflections of everything. Oh, let us find such a place, for we are in such need. A quiet place where sweet winds hail and shade beckons, where cool clouds loft above hills and their tree lines, where from a goodly distance on the height of a dune we detect the movement of an indistinct figure quietly strolling in this vast scene, who then stops as we observe to look out upon the watery colors of both sky and sea, making something of a gesture by which means we know this one seeks yet a further and farther quiet and beautiful place. For the echoes and memories are still too much, far too awfully much to bear, even with all this time and in all this wonderfully beautiful and peaceful space. For in that greater world, it has come to pass that objective deduction is useless, reason rejected, and corruption creates culture, forming a future of lies. And I tell you, I reject it utterly.
There may only be us here and now, and this matters not a jot, for it becomes us even more so. Here and now, where a line is drawn. And if we have to fight that future, so be it. On and on. Centuries, millennia, making no difference to the truth. Thank you.
All right, turn it off. Sue Ellen. Sue Ellen, you're up.